Humanity has spent centuries caught between a materialist science that reduces consciousness to brain chemistry and a dogmatic theology that demands uncritical faith in rigid creeds. Erlene Cheney's Asterian theory functions as an eclectic synthesis intended to resolve this conflict by approaching spiritual reality as a structural, testable science. Universal divine truths are visible in the expansive interior of the Hagia Sophia, a global human effort to map cosmic order in physical form. The foundational step in this system is the mirror meditation, an exercise designed to isolate the observer from the observed. By staring strictly into the reflection of their own pupils, the practitioner forces a shift in awareness, recognizing the physical body as a biological encasement for experience. This practice establishes a clear ontological duality. The physical vehicle and the internal spiritual identity are distinct, separate entities. Astara treats spiritual development as a rigorous, energetic science, requiring the precise application of metaphysical laws rather than passive belief. We will now map the Astarian blueprint of human consciousness as an intricate structural schematic. Our map covers three specific subsystems: the esoteric anatomy, the biological power supply, and the cosmic hardware. Mastering these spiritual mechanics is the primary requirement for conscious human evolution. The Astarian cosmological map begins with the seven mansions, a structural division of the entire universe. These seven mansions function as stacked vibrational planes, ranging from dense physical matter up to the divine realms. The Hermetic law of correspondence dictates the human silhouette is an exact miniature replica of this macrocosm. Every macrocosmic plane on the left has a corresponding vehicle or energetic center within the individual human framework on the right. This anatomy consists of interpenetrating physical, astral, mental, and spiritual bodies, each operating at a different frequency. Ancient mystery schools preserved these blueprints for millennia. Evidence of this esoteric science remains in the star ceilings and complex murals of Egyptian tombs. We must now examine the physiological mechanisms that allow these subtle bodies to influence the physical form. Astara defines chakras as specific etheric force centers located along the spine, serving as the interface between the subtle and the physical. Their mechanical role is that of a step-down transformer. They ingest high-frequency spiritual light and convert it into lower-frequency energy the body can use. This transformed energy outputs directly into the physical nerve plexuses and the endocrine glandular system. Practitioners use rhythmic breathing and visualization to clear blockages in these specific channels, ensuring a harmonious flow to the physical organs. The human body is an open mechanical conduit, wired directly into the wider cosmic grid. Moving deeper into the mechanism, we find the dense, physical human nervous system. Astara categorizes human neurology into two distinct interacting networks. The sympathetic network, shown here in blue, acts as a subtle antenna, absorbing intuitive impressions and astral vibrations from the environment. The cerebrospinal system, highlighted in gold, governs conscious logic and physical action. Both networks constantly interact. The central spinal column, or sushumna, serves as the primary conduit connecting these physical and energetic systems. At the base of this pathway lies the Kundalini, a latent evolutionary life force designated as serpent fire. Esoteric transmutation is the process of redirecting raw creative and biological energy away from physical dissipation. This energy follows an upward trajectory through the sushumna, where it nourishes the higher brain centers and stimulates the pineal gland. This systematic ascent converts basic biological instinct into spiritual genius, awakening latent intuitive faculties. The text strongly warns against forced or unnatural practices to awaken this force. High-voltage energy released into an unprepared nervous system can cause severe psychological and physical damage. Safety protocols include strict moral discipline and controlled breathing, which gradually prepare the biological wiring to handle the increased energetic load. The esoteric text explains that human biological drives are designed for systematic refinement, providing the fuel required for the next stage of evolution. We will now examine the macro architecture that anchors the soul into a physical body. Consciousness originates in the divine monad, projecting a ray downward to form the lower soul personality. This connection is maintained by the silver cord, an etheric lifeline that tethers the soul to its material vehicle. It anchors into the heart, the solar plexus, and the brain. Embedded within these three anchors are the permanent seed atoms. These atoms function as indestructible memory drives, recording every thought, emotion, and karmic action across all lifetimes. Because these seed atoms are located within the etheric centers that regulate the endocrine glands, they create a direct biological link. Purifying past impressions stored in a seed atom alters the vibrational frequency of its corresponding chakra, which in turn recalibrates the physical hormonal output of the endocrine system. The physical human body functions as a temporary biological interface for a permanent cosmic data collection system. Astara classifies death as a systematic energetic process. This animation shows the multi-stage severing of the silver cord. It detaches sequentially from the solar plexus, heart, and brain, allowing the subtle bodies to withdraw. Human consciousness and identity remain intact in the inner vibrational worlds following this detachment. Astarian doctrine frames judgment as an objective, self-conducted soul review. The soul witnesses a holographic playback of its completed life, generated directly from the data stored in the permanent seed atoms. Astara presents rebirth as a mathematical requirement for soul development, as a single lifespan provides insufficient time to master all virtues and complete the data-gathering process. The law of karma acts as a literal magnetic force governing the soul's return to the physical plane. The unique data stored in a soul's seed atoms magnetically attracts the genetic inheritance and environmental conditions required to balance its karmic ledger in the next life. Astarian Shinrari offers an engineering schematic for existence, one where life is a laboratory, death is a mechanical transition, and human evolution is a highly regulated cosmic certainty.